Standing on the top now. No, nothing can move you.
Andrew Yang, who had a popular campaign going on in the 2020 race. The guy did pretty good. I got to give it to him. And I don't know whether he was running because it was the right thing to do. I mean, he saw it as a sense of urgency, such as Obama would say, and or did he run to stop Bernie? Because a lot of people ran to stop Bernie. Now, you know me, I'm not riding the Bernie train. I used to be on that train in 2016. And, after seeing inside the campaign and some of the bull crap that's going on in the campaign, all I see is him as a Democratic sheep herder. He's better off being what he is, a senator. Okay. People think it would have been great to have him as president. To me, show would have been better than Biden. But the whole point was he was there to help bring people into the Democratic Party, just like he always do. There's other people who's running out under the same banner that's going to be doing the same thing. Their job is try to get people into the Democratic Party. They don't want to do anything unless the Democratic Party tell them to do it. The Democratic Party tell them not to do it, they're not going to do it. So we got Mayor de Blasio is going to be out. And Mayor de Blasio didn't do all that well. He did do some progressive things for his health care. I mean, we got one of the best health cares in the country. You still got to pay. By myself, I'm on a health care plan. I went to the doctor's office to get a prescription, and my prescription was $3. So Blasio have been doing some good work on the ground for the betterment of the entire community of New York City. And running for the mayor, you have to be focused on bettering the entire betterment of the entire community of all colors in New York. It's just the way it is. And if you're not, people are going to get on you about that. And what New Yorkers will do, whether you like it or not, New Yorkers will challenge you. Remember that episode on the Cosby Show when you had Sandman on there, and him and the Cosby Show was talking about challenge. New York is going to challenge you. But a lot of people think because New Yorkers are challenging Andrew Yang, according to his wife, as you see in this video I'm going to show, they want to use this as a racist scapegoat. Now look, Yang come from, he's Obama, I like to say Obama toady. He ran in the Obama administration to cater toward the capitalists to help build, he had this fairly good organization that brought jobs and things like that, but it didn't help. It wasn't to help the worker. It was help them better the corporations. And he's a Wall Street guy. He promote Wall Street. He's a corporatist. He's not a progressive. He's a corporate Democrat to the core. He'll lean over to Joe Bidenism in a minute. Heck, he'll lead over into Trumpism in a minute, which is even worse. So in my book, he's snake oil to me. And I know people say, well, you saying that because he's Asian. No, I ain't. See, I say that about a lot of people. It ain't got nothing to do with their color. It has everything to do with what they done in the past, what they're doing now, and what they plan on doing in the future. Now, Andrew Yang has had some gaps. We all have gaps. We all say stupid stuff. But if you continue to say stupid stuff over and over again, that means this stuff is really in your heart. There's a scripture say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Whatever you got in your heart in abundance is going to slip out. That's why Joe Biden always slip out with these racist tropes, because Joe Biden is racist. That's just what it is. I know you don't like that, but it is what it is. That's the reason why Trump can come out with these racist tropes, because he's a bona fide bigot racist. Well, Andrew Yang recently had some things about the protecting of Israel and siding with Israel, knowing that they're using our dollars and our power just to dominate and control the Palestinians. They got the people in the trap. Those people don't got nowhere to go. And they want to use Hamas and possible terrorists as an excuse. And you got to always look out for Hamas and possible terrorists and things like that. Yeah, that's true. But you also got to Why you don't think that Israel don't have terrorists? Now, look, I'm a Christian man, and you know, I don't believe in Zionist extremism, but you know, I lean toward scriptures in the Bible. But let me tell you something: the Jewish people and the Jewish government are not the same. They don't make the same decision. Matter of fact, most of the popular opinions of the Jewish people do not line up with the Jewish state or the Jewish government. Netanyahu and all those guys, they got been in office forever. Y'all talk about what's his name in Syria, a dictator, and you know Gaddafi was good. That guy been in power for a long time. He ain't no dictator. Well, anyway, Andrew Yang stood up for Israel, the government. He didn't say the people of Israel. See me, I stand up for the protection of the people of Israel and the protection of the people of the Palestinians, because they're people. We're all here and we have a purpose, and we shouldn't be taking advantage of one another. And I see this guy as somebody that's going to lean toward one side and you know, and not really go out for people who he really need to go out for. Let me get into the story. One of the reasons why Andrew Yang is having a hard time with this campaign, and I believe one of the reasons why him and his wife had this press conference, is because of this. The latest New York City mayor poll pushed Catherine Garcia. Catherine Garcia was the former person that was in charge of sanitation. She was very skillful at making sure we get this trash. You don't want trash piling up in New York. It's a horrible story. I had that problem in the past. So she was good at that job. Now, do that make you qualified to be mayor? I don't know. I don't know how she runs that administration when she was in charge of sanitation. But she did a good job, especially during snow time. But you got to have more than that, baby. What have you done for outside your job? What have you done for the communities of New York? 9 times out of 10, you're going to be trying to lobby for black votes because we don't want to go out there and vote for people like crazy. What have you done concerning black people? See, this is how I look at who should be taking a position of power. What have you done in the past? Not just on your job, but off the job. Any kind of community development. What kind of mission programs you've been involved? What kind of outreach programs have you been involved in? Have you donated money here? Have you volunteered here and there? What have you done? And did you do that to get a spotlight on yourself, or did you do that because you really care about the community? Well, she's number one right now. She's past Andrew Yang. Mr. Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president, brother. He's number 2, former cop. And now I got to say something about him. He has been doing some things for the community. He has been hands involved with outreach programs and everything. I mean, I actually learned from his testimony about being plant-based and trying to lose more weight, and, you know, because he had a health scare himself, but he's doing pretty good. He's a former NYPD, so I don't know about that. My thing is, what have you done to try to change NYPD, especially those who are hosted in Brooklyn? In the precincts in Brooklyn. So I'm still looking at that. Okay. And I know the election is coming up. What have you done in the past? What have you done now? And what you plan on doing in the future? Because what you did yesterday will determine what you do today. And what you do today determines what you do tomorrow. All those things matter. So Andrew Yang, wife, recently came up and did a press conference. And this is what she had to say.
So I want to address something that has been heavy on my chest. Some of you know by now that I was born and raised in Queens. Andrew has been living in Manhattan for the last 25 years. We met here, we got married in City Hall, we had our boys here, and they go to school here. Anytime someone implies that we are not New Yorkers, that we are not from here, that we don't belong here, that we should go back to where we came from. It is
Now I got to stop right there. Because I hear people saying that people are saying these things, but I never heard nobody really get mad at Andrew Yang because he's only been in New York for 25 years. I heard nobody tell him, he should go back from where he came from. He should go back from where he came from. Now, his wife been here since Queens. So she's a native New Yorker. But just because you're a native New Yorker don't mean you know what's right for New York City. That you heard from the people living in the city and that they kind of chose you to represent them. Because to me, I don't think nobody should look forward to running office unless there's a bunch of people telling them you should run. Give me a moment, guys, because I got to pull up something real quick based on this subject. Because there's a lot of people want to run for office. And there's a lot of people who want to run for office for their own personal benefit. My point is this. Andrew Yang is running for office. Good on you. My thing, are you doing this for your own political will? Are you doing it because you actually have a plan to help out the people in New York? What do you plan on doing for the black community in New York? What is your agenda? I mean, did you listen to us and say you're going to take our agenda and implement it in your administration? Heck, what is your own plan for your own community? In New York, you got to represent a lot of freaking committees. And when I go back to saying this again, you got to understand who are the ones that's going to really get out there and get the vote out for you. Because even though you get the Asian vote up to a certain level, because you are Asians, because people will vote for you because you're one of them, so to speak. People will vote for you because that's how a lot of people voted for Barack Obama. They never really seen Barack Obama pass, but we black people went out there in the 90s. Men went out there in the 90+% and voted for him because he looked like us. He represented us. He talked good. Dude was smooth. He had a good game. And he mentioned not too much exactly what he going to do for his people, but he did have some cool things that he said that he was going to do. But when he ran and he became president, it made us feel great. It gave us a better image of ourselves. Now, at the end of 2011, and we didn't see much traction in our community concerning Barack Obama, a lot of black people got upset. But yet we still gave him another chance to try to get it right. Look here, Pookie, rape. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure I got you covered because I can't run again, so I have nothing to lose. Me and Joe just going to do the doggone thing. Yang is something else. Because a lot of people like Yang. You got the Yang gang. I had one come on me, want to get on me, want to try to come after me. I'm like, bro, you better fall the back. Because first of all, you need to listen to me. I ain't say I don't like Andrew Yang. I just don't understand. I just don't see a reason for me to vote for him. Just because he ran as president is not a reason for me to vote for him. Just because he's Asian is not a reason for me to vote. Heck, he can be blacker than black, Bernie Mac, Midnight Black. There ain't no reason for me to vote for him. Whether he lives in New York or not, whether he's been here, that's no reason to vote for him, for me not to vote for him. One of the reasons why I won't vote for him, because I haven't heard too much of him coming to my community, talking with my people, and saying how he's going to take our issues and bring them to the platform of his campaign. And like I said, honestly speaking, I haven't seen what he planned on doing for his own campaign. But let Evelyn, because Evelyn is standing by her man, which she should. But the timing of this cartoon that she's about to talk about, which is a shame, and the timing concerning Asian hate, I think people are going to try to play off this to try to manipulate people based on his campaign, because his campaign is going down. And honestly speaking, Andrew needs some sympathy points. He just went on something recent called 48 Hours of Andrew with Yang or something like that, 24 hours. Ain't to do too good. Not too many people tune in like they thought it would. Like I said, I'm not saying he's not a good legislator. I don't know. Andrew is a businessman. He come from the business sector. Sound like a Democratic Donald Trump. But let's continue to listen to his wife, because his wife is hurt. Now, the news publication he got is usually a right-leaning publication. But let's listen to it first.
Exactly what it sounds like. It's racism. I'm not talking about one-off.
Let me go back to this, because she said it sounds like it's racism.
I'm where we came from. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's racism.
Now, how in the blue heaven and hell geographical location is racism? It's not. If they say go back to China, that's racism. They told us to go back to Africa. That's racism. But I don't even let that stuff bother me. You want to tell me to go back to Africa? I said, first of all, bro, you don't know if I'm African or not, because a lot of my people, I got some Seminole Indian on one side of my family and African on the other side of the family. Matter of fact, you're not from here, so why don't you go back to where you come from? Simple and easy. You're not gonna beat people racist thoughts. You can't eradicate racism from people's minds and people's heart. That would take an act of God, and even God is still having all these years. God ain't eradicated. It's a thing that man has to make a decision to deal with. Nobody can deal with it. You can't legislate it. You can't stop it. People are going to continue to draw cartoons. They're going to continue to draw Asian crazy cartoons and Jewish crazy cartoon and black crazy cartoon. They've been doing that. Heck, we just found out about Dr. Seuss and the crap he did. You're not going to be able to stop that. People are going to do stupid stuff like that. But you got to know how to clap back at people like that. You tell me to go back to Africa, I'll laugh at you. I'll say you go back to Asia first, or you go back to Europe first, or wherever your original foundation came from. Because only people that were here were Native Americans. And they come in all colors. But telling somebody that you're not from New York City is not racist. Because the whole point that most of the people are talking about Andrew Yang is, Andrew Yang, you ain't been in New York long enough. They feel you haven't been in New York long enough as a resident, not as a color, not as a human being, but as a resident. They feel you ain't been here long enough. Look, I've been in New York for almost, I'd say 15 years. Now, if I decide to run for office, it would be because people told me to run for office. And why would people tell me to run for office? Because they figure I have their best interests at heart, that I work hard for them, that they see me out here feeding the poor, that they see me out here trying to fight for any kind of things that's not right in the community, like lead poison and gas issues and gas leaks and no funding in school and things like that. When people see me doing that, then I will say, look, bro, you should run. You should run. Not because my political knowledge I don't have no more political knowledge than anybody else. I'm passionate about it, but I don't have no more different knowledge than anybody else. But to me, you consider running for office based on people pushing you to run. Who pushed them to run? Who pushed them to run? I mean, even Obama said, look, I'm running because of the sense of urgency now. Screw Hillary Clinton, all that. Somebody got to run to, at least he felt like he had a sense of urgency, but he had a track record of doing things for the community in Chicago. He have a community that would speak up for him and say, yeah, he did this. Now, my question is, and if you're an Andrew Yang supporter, tell me what Andrew Yang has done in the Asian community. Because if you're not willing to work for your own community, how the heck I expect you to work for mine? And again, I'm going to let this play. Telling your husband that I can't vote for you, man. I don't think you got best interest. I mean, it's people that's been here in New York since day one. That's been in the grind, in the gutter, hands on, foot to the fire. We got some people coming in here every day in the different projects and things like that. Middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning, risk getting shot. But they still come for one person in need. Where have you been? Where have you been? And honestly speaking, I don't know if Andrew Yang had any kind of traction like that. I mean, at least Mayor de Blasio fake like he was out there helping people. I mean, go out there and, put some soup in a pot or something like that. Show me something. Let me get back to it.
I'm not talking about one-offs or innocent mistakes. I'm talking about a pattern that we have noticed since the first day that we entered this race. It is deliberate and it is toxic. People have consistently implied that we're not from here and that we don't belong here.
Now, most people know that Andrew Yang's from New York. Most people know Andrew Yang been here 25 years. If you look at his wife, she's been here forever. I myself, and that's what I keep telling me, please people, tell me of the person that you know heard this. Because most of the people who say, Yang, we got people been here in the trenches since day one. I can't go with you, bro. I'm going to go with them. Now look at him. He's standing there. And his wife doing the talking. To me, this looked too much of a victim mentality. I mean, I'm sorry. It looks that way. It may not. But it looked like Andrew Yang is painting himself to be a victim of people who don't want to vote for him because he's not from here. When it's really, there's a lot of people not voting for you because you don't have a track record of working for the communities of New York. And now you want to run for mayor. When there's at least a dozen of people running for office, that's not even in the polls, that has a record of working in the communities or for the communities of New York. Now, if there are people out there telling, saying stupid stuff, go back to your country, then you're a fool, you're a bigot, you're a racist, and a shame on you. But I want to know how many of those people saying this, which there probably some are, compared to those who say, I just don't get Yang. I don't think he'd been here long enough. Dude been here 25 years. They ain't long enough. Should be. I'm talking about I don't see. These other people, I heard of them. They've been working in our community. I'm not familiar with him doing real work for the people of New York City. I just don't. And if I don't see a track record of you working for the people in New York City, then you don't need to be mayor. So you can call that you're not from here. What? Hey, New Yorkers entitled to do whatever that. Look, you're not a real New Yorker. You're originally from San Diego, California. You come down. It's just like people coming from New York going down to South Florida. Look here, Yankee. I guess that's racist, right? Look here, Yankee. You're not from South Florida. What you know about South Florida politics, boy? Now saying boy might be racist. But what you know about South Florida politics? We don't know you over here and you want to come over here and be mayor? Dude, I've been here 25 years. I know you've been here 25 years. I seen you around. But what have you done in this community? Now, when somebody say that, I have respect for him. I don't care if you are a bigot or a racist, because if you come up to me and tell me what I've done for you and I got a track record to tell you what I've done, then if that ain't enough to shut you up, then you are riding on a horse of racism. You don't like me because I'm black, or you don't like me because I'm Asian, or you don't like me because I'm Arab. That's something different. But the way she's trying to make it seem like is that a lot of New Yorkers are racist because they don't want to even look at Yang or want to be a part of his campaign because he's not from here.
Regardless of what you think about Andrew and his plans for New York, regardless if you support another candidate in this race, I don't care. It is not okay to use Andrew to make Asians the butt of racist jokes.
Now, look here. Look, when Obama was president, they drew all kind of cartoons. They drew his big ears, but yo, dude got big ears, man. I got big ears. Most cartoons are not going to be directly the statue of you, who you really are. Now, there are racist cartoonists out there, and shame on them. They need to be fired. They need to lose their job and not ever get a job. But most of the cartoons are standard cartoons, and I'm going to show you this cartoon in a minute. You be the judge of it. They're not going to be 100% looking like the regular person. But if this cartoon does have one color looking normal and the other color looking non-normal, then that's a problem. And we're going to look at it in a moment. But this thing is bigger than, people are not voting for Yang because of a cartoon.
Especially during this time of unprecedented racial tension. A time when Asians are being randomly attacked on our streets just because of how they look.
I'll say this since I'm up here, because you might got some Yang people up here. I do not support anybody attacking anybody, especially because of their color. But I don't care if you're attacking somebody because they got $5 in their pocket and you ain't got it. You shouldn't be attacking people, assaulting people. Whether it's racially motivated or not, it's a crime. You should go to jail. That is wrong. But we black people have been dealing with this stuff for hundreds of years. Hundreds. Even to this day.
And this is very important. Told to go back where they came from. Yesterday, a number of my friends sent me a cartoon from the Daily News.
Now, let's pull up this cartoon and see what she's talking about. This is from the Daily News. All right. The tourists are back. This is a cartoon, and this is the response. This is basically Andrew Yang accused Daily News of racism. NAACP Hazel Dukes agrees. NAACP, who don't work as hard as they should for black people. Now, you got some local chapters might do it, but the national chapter don't do as much. All right, so here we go. We got the tourists back. I guess this is a white couple. They look disfigured. Look at dude's leg. Look like his leg go up to the shoulder. Look at his nose. Now look at Andrew Yang. Coming out of Times Square. Bromhall's editorial cartoon for Tuesday, May 25th. The tourists are back. So I guess they thinking Andrew Yang is a tourist and he came back. Okay. Now, his face disfigured. I just, look like a bad cartoonist. Look like dude can't draw. Nobody good. Look at Spider-Man over here. Look at Spider-Man head. Look like an egg. Look at the Lady Liberty. Lady Liberty look like that puppet on the Muppets. Okay, so you see the picture here. Now tell me, is this a racist picture? I don't know. To some of you, it probably is. To some of you, it look like a normal cartoon picture. But to call him a tourist, is that racist? Because they say you're not from here, but you want to represent here? Maybe. It's up to the person on how they receive it. Because I don't see no Asian slang up here. No racist words up here. I don't see no slurs up here. Now let's go back and listen to what she said about this.
with a note saying, "I can't believe how racist this is." When I saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe you saw it and you don't understand, I want to show you. This is the cartoon. Let me break it down for you.
I wrote a song about you. I'm gonna break it down for you.
In case you can't see clearly, thank you, Ron. This cartoonist disfigured Andrew's face. He has overtly beady, slanted eyes. Now, these...
I guess you wanted him to draw him white with big eyes and a big nose. I don't know. Cartoons are not going to look exactly right. Now, I've seen some racist cartoons, because usually the racist cartoon I've seen, they have Asian people with buck tooth, teeth big as I don't know what, you know, and they have the Jewish people with big old nose all outside. You know, they have us looking like monkeys with big ears and big butts and stuff like that. Now, those things I normally associate with racist cartoon, but what I saw, now it's just me, was a cartoon. That's why I can't be no cartoonist, man, because somebody gonna sit there and they'll take your cartoon and say that man, that don't look like me. It's a cartoon. It don't supposed to look exactly like you. And again, I reiterate, any racist trope in a cartoon where you overly disfigure the look of a person. You know, you got his eyes going from the middle of his nose to his ear. That's racist. He have big teeth. That's racist. He got a big old butt, or she got a big old butt. That's racist. All right, let's keep going.
White people standing here on the other side have larger eyes.
Those white people look disfigured too, Evelyn. They don't look normal either. Spider-Man don't look normal. He got a big old egg head.
And human irises. They're calling Andrew, this Asian man, a tourist coming from who knows where, but probably from a land of other people who look just like him with his shifty, beady eyes.
Now, question, people, and I would like to see it in the comment section. I'm going to look. Did you assume that him coming out of the subway, the only thing I see it make him look like he's older? His hands all messed up just like the white people hands are messed up. And who says, you know, we don't know where those people come from. We don't know if those people are Russians. Those people could be Russians. They could be anybody. So shame on them to tell somebody to come back. So how do you figure this picture of saying you need to go back to where you came from? Now, he coming out the subway, and those little characters, they will hawk you down as soon as you come out of the subway. I don't care if you can live here. You ain't got to be a tourist. You can live here, and those things, those people be trying to get pictures with you. I don't care who you are.
Now, this is the worst thing about what happened.
She said this is the worst thing.
When people discovered this cartoon, which was originally published online first, there was a public outcry from prominent API leaders. We contacted the Daily News. We
API is
told them,
Asian Pacific
this is
Islanders.
unacceptable. This is racist. This perpetuates the perpetual trope of the foreign, the Asian foreigner, the perpetual Asian foreigner. Now, there's a lot of historical context for this that I won't get into today, but, you know...
I mean, I've seen some racist pictures where they had, you know, guys with cameras and big teeth and big old goggle glasses. That's racist, but I'm just not getting it. I don't know. I don't see anything racist about this picture. I mean, I'm open to understand if you can show me, tell me, because all of them look disfigured on this freaking picture, on this cartoon. All of them look disfigured. All of them don't look natural. All of them. Now, calling them a tourist, that's a different story. Andrew Yang been here 25 years. He's not a tourist. That still ain't got nothing to do with whether he's qualified to be the mayor of New York. Because in my book, to be mayor, you got to have some kind of relationship with majority of these cultures in New York. Some real deal relationships that you been building for a long time. And I'm not saying he haven't did it, but I haven't seen nothing done here in my community. And I live in New York in the Bronx.
Not only does this dehumanize Asians, it promotes racism against them.
Absolutely.
And you know what they did?
They printed it.
They printed it
Absolutely.
anyway.
They don't care.
What mess?
Of course, they're supposed to print a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. Cartoons have been involved with everything from major trials all the way to people running for office. It's normal. You're not going to look like you look in a cartoon 100%. Now, if you go off the wall and you do crazy disfiguring of a person, but I didn't see too much. All of them was disfigured. The so-called white people, all of them was disfigured, but...
message does this send to all the Asians that are afraid to go outside every day with our children? What message are we sending when we can do this in the most diverse city in the country, in the most progressive city in the country? What message are we sending? We have seen the same treatment used against black and brown people in the past.
Okay, so here we go. You want to be part of the club. Okay. Because anything that's not white isn't right? That include Asians, Latinos, and blacks. But understand, you can never, ever, ever put us in the same position of racism. Sure, Asians experience racism. Pacific Islanders experience racism. You got all kind of people. Heck, when some of the white people came to this country, Polish people and everything, they experienced, racism just because they wasn't Americans. Was accused of taking jobs from other Americans. So you got levels of experience racism. This ain't got nothing to, honestly speaking, a lot of people not picking Yang because they haven't seen his footprint in New York City doing the work. But because he's dropping in the polls, you can't. I don't trust these advisors. I don't trust these campaign intellectuals. They'll come up with any freaking thing to try to get some kind of get you up in the polls some kind of way. And oftentimes these politicians will sit there and just eat it up just to get that position. Now, are there some people who hate Yang because he's Asian? Yeah, probably so. There's people that hate me because I'm black. What's up, Information Man? I see you up here. There probably people hate Information Man. You're not going to be able to defeat racism talking about a cartoon.
When people of color are presented with exaggerated racist features, we know what that means. It's not funny, it's toxic, and it's hurtful. Images can be even more powerful than words. And just look at this page. I couldn't get over the irony of this page. On one half, we remember George Floyd and his death, his murder, and the movement that was born from his murder. A movement towards racial equity and racial justice This part by Al Sharpton condemns racism. This part in the same paper perpetuates racism. Now, I am so grateful for the movement that George Floyd inspired, because Asians, we've been inspired by that movement, the protests, the rallies. We looked to these inspirations when people in our community were also being targeted and killed because of the color of their skin. Our attitudes about racism are never separate. They are always intertwined. Now,
this is where I got to differ from you, Miss Yang. You don't have the same attitude because you don't experience the same level of racism. That will determine your attitude toward the solution. Now, I get it. Asian people are being attacked. Now, to the level it's being attacked, we already went through that, FBI, and and how they trying to make it seem like it's an epidemic, and it's not. I mean, 1, 2, 3, it still shouldn't happen, but they act like the 100 plus people that got killed, black people that got killed since George Floyd. Black people. But you don't hear about that. That's not in the news. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's reporting that. They're not the same level, but what a lot of people who are experience racism, they want to feel the same sympathy as they give us. And I get it. But you really, really have to go through what we gone through to really understand why we're so angry, why we so pissed off, why we're fighting so hard for change. And we're not just doing change for black people. Every time we fight for justice, it's for all people. Now, they need to focus on some serious black justice, but most of the time we're fighting for all people's injustice. And one of the problems with the black community is sometimes we're fighting harder on other people's injustice and not focusing on fighting hard, willing to die to make sure your injustices be be justified, to fix that. Now, I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to let her talk for a little more than I think we'll be done for the night. I'm going to show you this. Now, this is Dr. Seuss. This is a racist cartoon. Look at those lips. This is a racist trope. Look at those lips. Look how dark we are. That is a racist trope. Look nothing like most black people. The doggone elephants look better than us. That's a racist cartoon. That's racist. This is racist. Here's one. That's racist. This is racist. Look at this. Look at it. Always the Asian person. Look at it. This is racist right here. Big thick glasses, beady eyes, slanted eyes. That's racist. From your neighborhood children's publication. I'm trying to figure out. Look at this. This is racist. This is racist. Black with big red lips. Always been racist. That picture of Andrew Yang. Look, don't look nothing like that.
I don't usually get involved in campaign food fights, but I feel compelled to be here to speak about this. It's not about my feelings or Andrew's feelings being hurt, because at this point, we have seen it all. We have seen much worse. Last year, an SNL comedian called Andrew a Jew chink. Now that was blatant. This kind of racism.
And that's a bigot. That's racist if he said that. I don't know. I never heard it. But if it's true, it's racist. She's right.
This is the underhanded kind of racism that is actually more insidious. Because at first glance, it could pass as a joke. But we have to ask ourselves, why is this a joke? Why was this funny? I mean, our train stop, the Times Square train stop, is literally part of our biography. We have lived in Hell's Kitchen for over 15 years. So Times Square is actually the train station that we go to every day to go home. It's as simple as that. Now, why was that made to be a subject of a cartoon? Why is that funny? It's funny because of the racial context, because there are racial stereotypes behind this joke. Just think about it for a moment, and you will.
So they live in Times Square. They drew a picture of him coming out the subway at Times Square. That you just admitted you live in Times Square, so the cartoon is factually true. Now, whether you take the subway or the car or the bus, I don't know. But you just said, how is him coming out the subway racist? When you said you guys live in Hell's Kitchen in Times Square. Heck, I come out that subway a lot of times. I was out coming out that subway yesterday. Somebody paint a picture of me. Am I going to call them racist? Now, if they paint a picture of me real black with big old red juju lips, that's racist. But again, we're going to look at this one more time when she finished.
Find that it's true. If we replace this Asian man with a black man or a white man or even a Martian, would this be as funny? No, it wouldn't be as funny. Now that racist humor is causing bloodshed on our streets, Asians terrorize.
Racist humor is causing bloodshed on our streets. Anybody here live in New York City? Was there any Asians who shed blood because of racism this week in New York? Not saying it's not possible, but I like to be factual as much as I can. I don't know it all. That's why I listen to other people and try to learn from them. And I'm open. Yeah, I could tell you a story that I'm going to talk about right after this, and then I'm close because I got to talk about this story of some information just coming out over a year ago about a man being brutalized by a police officer, a black man, from a racist bigot cop. Not some random fool just want to do something stupid on the street and want to accost a elderly Asian woman. That same guy would accost an elderly black woman as well as an elderly Latino woman because he's an idiot. Trying to understand, folks.
Beat up and left for dead just because they're Asian. And other people don't think that we believe.
See, you can't just say that. You can't just say somebody beat you up because you're Asian or somebody beat you up because you're black. You got to have some proof. Like what I'm going to show you, you're going to clearly see that this was a racial issue concerning this man, this black man. Like I said, the same idiot will beat up a black, Latino, or Asian, or even a white elderly woman if you find her by herself and she's vulnerable. An idiot will bust her upside the head and take her pocketbook and leave her for dead. An idiot don't need a real reason to attack you, especially one who's greedy, hungry, and can't go, don't want to be a real man and get out there and get a job or nothing like that. They'll do anything. Find some way of making some money. Every attack on a black person isn't always racist, just like every attack on an Asian isn't always racist.
Belong here. It is very hard to explain this to our children. Stop promoting hate. Words matter, art matters, representation matters. So let's be better than this. Every time you make a joke about Andrew not being a New Yorker, you are telling Asian Americans that they don't belong. And that's all I have.
And I'm glad that's all you have, because I got to address this now. It's my turn. Andrew Yang's wife just said that anytime you draw a cartoon and it doesn't look exactly like you is racist. I disagree. Now, if the cartoon is overly extreme, making you look like something that you don't look like, nothing like you at all, that's a racist cartoon. If it got you actually carny yellow, when Asians are not really yellow, they're a lighter version of brown. If they have you Big Bird yellow with slanted eyes, that's racist. But according to what I saw in this cartoon, I am still trying to figure out the racism here. Labeling him a tourist doesn't necessarily make it racist. People label me still a tourist because I'm from Florida. They don't do that because I'm from Africa or my lineage is from Africa. My last story is some real racism, and we're going to get into this and then I'm done. This picture right here don't say anything verbally about racism. It doesn't say, I don't see anything outside. I got small eyes. People used to call me Blackanese when I was a kid because I got small eyes. But hey, some ladies, I can't help I was born with small eyes. And some ladies like teeny eyes like mine. I had black people from my hood, friends of mine, call me Blackanese. Joking around, I ain't pay them no mind. But if they've been racist, if this is a racist cartoon against Andrew Yang, it's also racist toward the Lady of Liberty, also racist now, also fat shaming Elmo over there, because Elmo ain't never been that fat. Elmo, what you been eating? Look like you been eating Cookie Monster cookies. And old Spider-Man got a big old egghead up here. And the so-called white people, they ain't got no torso. Come on, man. When I see a racist cartoon that's being blatant racist, I'll call it out. When I see one that don't seem that racist to me, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like my man Information said, tell the truth. I try my best to tell the truth. Honestly speaking, I personally don't see anything racist on that. Now, let's talk about this one right here. This is some racist stuff. Sickle cell excuse for cops killing blacks.